Can you do me a favor, sir? Give me your first and last name and spell your last name.
My name is Gary Cobb, Gary Cobb.
And can you let us know exactly what you're running for?
I am a candidate for Travis County District Attorney.
Mr. Cobb, can you tell me what qualifies you for this position that you're seeking?
Well, mainly it's experience. I've been a prosecutor with Travis County District Attorney's Office for 25 years, so I have a great deal of experience in prosecuting felony jury trials representing the victims in Travis County of murder, rape, robbery type cases. I have a lot of community involvement, a lot of contact with the community, real interest in criminal justice issues. Also an interest in making sure that the criminal justice system treats all the victims equally and also treats defendants equally.
So right now we're here at the Victory Grill. This opportunity has been put on by the Austin Justice Coalition. We're a group of people that seeks justice, particular for Black people. Is there a justice problem to you for Black people?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think that we can pretend that the criminal justice system doesn't have racist elements to it. You know, I grew up in Mississippi. If you grew up in Mississippi, you learn that the criminal justice system often is, which is supposed to be like a sword to attack people who are doing bad and a shield to protect the innocent. Well, often if you're Black, it's often used as a sword against you to take your rights away and to shield you from the equality that you should get in our court system. And I think that we could all work inside the system, criminal justice system, to make it more equitable.
Yeah, I know. We tend to say that we need to fight against the system, per se, but you're saying more so working in the system, more so putting our influence into what's happening.
Absolutely. I think it's easier to make more changes when you're working inside the system. For instance, if you have more Black prosecutors and more Black judges and more Black police officers, all those things, I think it tends to make the system more equitable because you get a different viewpoint in it. You get Black people who have similar experiences to the victims and the defendants that they're dealing with. I think one thing that's particularly racist about the criminal justice system is the way we treat Black and brown victims. You know, we value the lives and the property of Black and brown victims historically less than we do for white victims, and which is not a fair way of dealing with things.
Can you tell me, you spoke about valuing the lives of Black and brown victims less. Do you think there's any influence of the wealth issue of us as Black people, you know, having this low amount of wealth in comparison to white people? Is there any correlation there of why we're not seeing justice?
Well, I think that regardless of color, wealth is always an issue. I think a wealthy Black person will be treated pretty good by the criminal justice system because they can afford to hire the best attorneys. They can afford to have any kind of forensic test done independent of what the state is doing on tests. I think wealth makes a great deal of difference. Someone once said that part of the problem with the criminal justice system is that a guilty person who is wealthy is treated better than a poor person who is innocent. I think that does happen. I think we all have a duty to make the system more equitable regardless of someone's race, religion, or their wealth. And I think we all can play a part in making that system better.
And my last thing here is, you know, what makes you different? What makes you different than anyone else in running for this position particularly?
Mimi, I think a large part of it is the life experiences. You know, I know what it's like to be discriminated against by the criminal justice system, but I also know what it's like to be a victim and how you have a family member murdered, and to see how the criminal justice system dealt with our family and how we did not feel that we were treated the same as we would have been if we had been a different race.
I know I said that was my last question, but I do have to ask you. We just saw some in our community, and I feel personally that there was some injustice done with the Larry Jackson decision. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, because my office is handling that case, the appeal of that case, which we plan to appeal and ask the court to overturn the federal judge's decision. We clearly don't agree with that. I can't speak to the specifics of that because it's ongoing litigation.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add to and let our audience know about you as a person and as a, you know, and again, what makes you different in family values in particular?
Well, my family is part of this community. So it's important to me that we do have equitable treatment for everyone under our criminal justice system. Um, Me in particular, the work I've done within the community and in the criminal justice system, I think uniquely qualifies me to represent the Travis County community. I think, Martin Luther King's birthday just passed. We look at all the sacrifices his generation made for us so that we could have our civil rights of showing up in court and being treated fairly, but especially the civil right of being able to vote without being murdered or assaulted. We can just, anytime we want to, go down and cast our ballot for the candidate of our choice. So we should always take advantage of that and elect someone such as myself who will best represent us.
I always say that I have one last question, even though I don't. I have several last questions, honestly. My very last question, though, is this: community policing. What is that definition to you?
I think it's when police deal more with the citizens, not just in a crisis situation when they're answering police calls, but everyday contact with the citizens and making the citizens be a part of the policing in the sense that they become invested in making sure their community is safe. So the police have a better relationship. But I think that extends to the district attorney's office too. Uh, we should not just be waiting in court to prosecute people or deal with victims. We need to be out in the community so that the community can see we're a part of them, because we certainly are. The whole criminal justice system is really like a three-legged chair. You have the police involved in law enforcement, you have the district attorney's office involved in prosecution, but you have the citizens who play the most important role. They determine the quantity and quality of justice ultimately that they're willing to accept. When they're not willing to accept what the prosecution and the police are doing, you can vote those people out and bring in people who you think better reflect the values of their community.
Thank you.